In Bright Hope compound, there was one sound that never failed. Even when NEPA took light. Even when generator refused to start. Even when rain was beating zinc like drum. That sound was Mama Rachael's mouth. If you wanted to know who fought their husband, Mama Rachael knew. If you wanted to know who was owing rent, Mama Rachael knew. If you wanted to know who was pregnant before the woman herself knew. Mama Rachael had already announced it. Her mouth did not sleep. Her mouth did not rest. Her mouth did not fear anybody. People laughed. People enjoyed it. People even gathered chairs to hear her stories. But nobody knew that one day, that same mouth would scatter the entire compound. Because one gossip, just one careless talk, would turn laughter into crying, turn friends into enemies, and turn Mama Rachael herself into the most feared woman in Bright Hope compound. Welcome to Nightfall Tales by Wura, where laughter hides lessons, and every story carries a deep truth. If you love Nollywood-style stories that entertain and teach, you are in the right place. The woman whose mouth never slept. Bright Hope compound was not a rich place. It had one broken gate that never closed. Children that played football with plastic bottle. Women that shouted across balconies instead of using phone. And right in the middle of it all lived Mama Rachael. Mama Rachael was not tall. She was not slim. She was not rich. But her mouth? Ah! Her mouth was big enough to rent a room. Every morning by 5:30 a.m., before the cock could even clear its throat, Mama Rachael would step out with her wrapper tied tight and shout, "Jesus! See this life, oh! So this rain wants to kill us today?" People did not need alarm clock. Mama Rachael was the alarm. If you came out to sweep, she was there. If you went to fetch water, she followed you with gist. If you tried to hide, she would shout your name. Chidinma. I saw your visitor yesterday, oh. Chidinma would freeze. The whole compound would listen. Mama Rachael did not whisper. She announced. Her favorite seat was a broken plastic chair beside the borehole. From there, she saw everything. And she talked about everything. Nobody was safe. Yet, people laughed. They called her funny. They said, "Leave her, not so she be." But nobody noticed that Mama Rachael was collecting secrets like money. And she never returned change. Mama Rachael did not move around much. But information came to her by itself. If two people were talking quietly, her ears would stretch. If someone cried inside their room, she would knock. "My sister, what'n happen?" Before you finished explaining, Mama Rachael had already added extra sugar and pepper. By afternoon, the whole compound would know. One day, young Connell missed school. By evening, Mama Rachael had already said, that boy? I heard say him teacher beat him because he stole chalk." Connell's mother almost fainted. Another time, Auntie Sod fought her husband inside their room. Nobody heard anything. But Mama Rachael came out shouting, "Some men don't deserve wife, oh. See how Sod is crying like this." Sod did not even cry. But after that day, her marriage became shaky. Still, people laughed. Children gathered around Mama Rachael every evening like cinema. She would cross her legs and say, "Make I tell una what'n happen for this compound." And everybody would lean forward. But inside Mama Rachael's room, something was wrong. She did not have peace. Her husband had left her years ago, tired of her mouth. Her children stayed far away. And gossip was the only thing that made her feel important. Talking made her feel seen. Everything changed one hot afternoon. It started small. Mama Rachael was sitting on her usual chair when she saw Ada, the quiet new woman in the compound, enter her room quickly. Ada was always calm. Always respectful. Always silent. Mama Rachael smiled. Quiet people get loud secrets. That evening, Mama Rachael called people together. She leaned forward and lowered her voice for the first time in her life. "I no want talk but I must talk." Everyone moved closer. "I heard say Ada, Makuna just watch her." That was all she said. But it was enough. By night, people were locking doors. Mothers were calling their children inside. Someone whispered danger. Ada noticed the change. People avoided her. Children ran away from her. She cried alone that night. And Mama Rachael? She slept well. But somewhere in the dark, the compound had started cracking. Bright Hope compound was no longer the same. People still laughed, yes. But the laughter now had fear inside it. Whenever Mama Rachael stepped out, people greeted her carefully. "Good afternoon, Mama." Not because they respected her, but because they were afraid of her mouth. Ada stopped greeting people. She walked fast, eyes down, wrapper tight. One evening, Mama Rachael sat with two women, Auntie Bose and Mama Cunnel. She shook her head inside. "This compound some people are not what they look like." Auntie Bose gasped. Mama Cunnel leaned closer. Mama Rachael did not mention Ada's name. But everybody understood. That same night, Ada knocked on Mama Rachael's door. Her voice was shaking. "Mama, please, if I offend you, forgive me." Mama Rachael looked surprised. "Offend me? God forbid." But she did not deny anything. She smiled small. Ada left crying. And for the first time, Mama Rachael felt power. 2 days later, something happened. A child fainted in the compound. People panicked. Before anybody could ask questions, Mama Rachael shouted, "Jesus! I knew it!" That was all. But from that moment, the story grew legs. Someone said Ada gave the child something. Someone said Ada was not normal. Someone said she came from a bad place. Mama Rachael did not stop them. She only nodded. That night, a group of women gathered secretly. "What if she harms our children?" one asked. Fear grew faster than truth. Ada locked herself inside her room. She stopped coming out. Mama Rachael noticed something though. The compound was quiet. Too quiet. No laughter. No children playing. And strangely, people were also avoiding her. When she talked, they listened, but they stepped back. Still, she did not stop. Because gossip had become her food. Rain fell that night. Heavy rain. Suddenly, a scream tore through the compound. "Ada! Ada! People ran out. Ada's door was open. She was on the floor, crying, shaking. Her room was scattered. Someone had entered. Someone had searched her things. Inside her bag, they found papers. Medical papers. Everyone froze. Mama Rachael stepped forward, loud as always. "What is all this? Speak!" Ada looked at her. For the first time, Ada raised her voice. "My husband died because of gossip." Silence. "I came here to hide. To heal. I am sick, not dangerous." Tears rolled. The truth landed like thunder. People slowly turned. And looked at Mama Rachael. For the first time in Bright Hope compound. Her mouth could not save her. The rain stopped. But the silence did not stop. People stood outside Ada's room, looking at one another. No shouting. No gossip. No laughter. Mama Rachael cleared her throat. "This thing is being exaggerated," she said, forcing a laugh. "I was only saying what I heard." Nobody answered her. One woman picked her child and went inside. Another shut her door quietly. For the first time since Mama Rachael entered Bright Hope compound, nobody gathered around her. The next morning, Mama Rachael came out early as usual. "Good morning, oh." No response. She tried again. "Good morning, my people." A door slammed. Children who used to greet her now hid behind their mothers. Women avoided eye contact. The borehole area was empty. Mama Rachael sat on her broken plastic chair alone. Her mouth opened. No words came out. And for the first time, Mama Rachael felt small. 3 days passed. No gist. No visitors. No audience. Mama Rachael's room felt tight. On the 4th day, Ada came out. She walked slowly, holding her papers. She walked straight to Mama Rachael. Everyone watched from their windows. Ada spoke calmly. "My husband died because someone spread lies about him," she said. "They said he was sick with a bad disease. He lost his job. Lost his friends." Mama Rachael swallowed. Ada continued. "That person was my neighbor, in another compound." She looked straight into Mama Rachael's eyes. Her name was also Rachael. Mama Rachael's legs shook. Flashbacks hit her. Years ago. Another compound. Another woman she talked about. Another marriage that broke. Mama Rachael sat down heavily. For the first time in her life, she remembered every mouthful she had spoken. And she started crying. Mama Rachael did not come out the next day. Or the next. People whispered quietly, not loudly, not joyfully. That whispering alone taught a lesson. On the 3rd day, Mama Rachael came out. She was different. Her wrapper was loose. Her voice was low. She stood in the middle of the compound. "I'm sorry," she said. It was not loud. But everyone heard. "I used my mouth to hurt people because I wanted to feel important." Nobody clapped. Nobody insulted her. Ada nodded once. Forgiveness came quietly. But consequences stayed. Mama Rachael went back inside. She sat alone. Her mouth still worked. But now, she knew when to keep it closed. Time passed in Bright Hope compound. Not much changed on the outside. The broken gate was still broken. Children still played with plastic bottles. NEPA still took light without warning. But something inside the compound had changed forever. Mama Rachael no longer sat by the borehole. Her broken plastic chair stayed empty, baking under the sun like a forgotten thing. People noticed it. At first, they expected her to come back. To clear her throat. To shout, "Make Una hear something." But days turned into weeks. And Mama Rachael stayed quiet. Inside her room, Mama Rachael learned a new life. A life without noise. She swept in silence. She cooked in silence. She prayed in silence. Sometimes, she would open her mouth to talk. Then she would stop. She remembered Ada's tears. She remembered the doors closing. She remembered how powerful her mouth once made her feel. And how empty it finally left her. One evening, Ada knocked on her door. Mama Rachael opened slowly. Ada smiled softly. "I'm moving out tomorrow," Ada said. "I wanted to say thank you." Mama Rachael was confused. "For what?" "For showing me that silence can heal more than shouting," Ada replied. Mama Rachael nodded. Her eyes were wet. The next day, Ada left. Life continued. Months later, a new woman moved into the compound. The children laughed again. The women chatted. But whenever gossip tried to rise, someone would say, "I beg, remember Mama Rachael." And everybody would laugh softly. Not mockingly, but wisely. Mama Rachael was still there. Quieter. Kinder. Listening more than talking. Her mouth still worked. But now, it had sense. And Bright Hope Compound finally had something better than noise. And so, Bright Hope Compound returned to its quiet rhythm. The children's laughter echoed softly, the women's chatter carried wisdom instead of fear, and the once boisterous Mama Rachael learned the hardest but most important lesson of her life. Her mouth, which had been louder than the generator, louder than NEPA's silence, louder than the wind itself, had finally found its limit. It had spoken truths, half-truths, lies, and gossip that had shaken the hearts of everyone around her. And in that shaking, she learned something that no amount of talking could ever teach, that words are powerful, unstoppable forces, capable of building and destroying, of healing and hurting, of giving life and taking it away. Mama Rachael had been blind to her own power. She thought talking, gossiping, and knowing everyone's business made her important. But true importance, she discovered, was not in being the loudest voice in the compound, it was in knowing when to speak, when to listen, and when to hold your tongue. Because some secrets are not yours to share, and some truths are better left unsaid. Ada's tears, the whispers behind doors, the fear in the eyes of neighbors, all of it was a mirror showing Mama Rachael the reflection of her own actions. She saw the pain she caused, the trust she broke, and the friendships she shattered. And though she could not undo the past, she could change her future. From that day, Mama Rachael spoke only when necessary. Her words became deliberate, her laughter kind, and her presence comforting instead of threatening. She learned that silence can be louder than noise, wisdom more powerful than gossip, and humility stronger than pride. And Bright Hope Compound flourished because of it. People began to share their stories with care, to listen without judgment, and to understand that life is too short to destroy each other with careless words. Mama Rachael became a quiet guardian of the compound's secrets, a gentle guide instead of a storm of chaos. So, dear viewers, let this story remind us all, your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Some will grow flowers, some will grow thorns. Choose carefully what you plant, because one day, every word you speak will come back to you, louder than you ever imagined. Remember, in life, speak wisely, listen deeply, and never underestimate the power of your own mouth. Sometimes, the loudest lesson comes from the quietest moment. Sparkles, thank you for staying with this story until the very end. If you laughed, cried, or felt the lesson deep inside your heart, share it with someone today. Let Mama Rachael's journey remind us all that wisdom is born from reflection, and true power lies not in being heard, but in knowing when to be silent.